Alright, here's the video review for Decepticon Hunter Grimlock and Back from the Robots in Disguise series. And when I said Back, this little guy's name is Back. That's it. Bumblebee comes with one. I think his name is Major Mayhem, and Grimlock gets Back. But anyway, so Back is just a little ball he shoots out of the new Overload, I think, is the Decepticon that shoots the little ball, Bakugan-looking Minicons. And he transforms. You just pull these panels out. And as you pull those out, that extends his legs and flips his head up. And then his little arms can open up for a hug. And you don't have to pull the arms all the way out. You can kind of fold them in. But that's really all there is to Back. He's not my favorite Minicon at all. But yeah, there he is. Little bug creature. And Decepticon Hunter Grimlock is just a smaller version of Grimlock, really. Now, the smaller versions do come with armor pieces. Like, if you remember, Optimus Prime had the axe and the armor, and then the armor could combine to form an axe, form like a much larger, like, Warhammer type thing. Grimlock's armor forms a dinosaur head. And his jaw works, it chomps. And, of course, there's a little tab in here. There's two little pieces on these pieces right here, right above my thumb. That little tab pegs right in here into his nose, so he can actually wear this head in dinosaur mode, which is kind of cool. Now, the back of the box shows it attached to his arm in robot mode, and I haven't figured out how to make that happen yet, because, well, here it's very obvious where this little peg here tabs into his nose. On the arm, like, I can't find any way to get him to hold it. This piece is solid, and like, I thought maybe these pegs up here, but they don't fit into his hand. His whole arm doesn't fit in there, so it may just be armor for him in robot mode. If not, if there's a way to attach it as a hand weapon, please let me know. But yeah, so here's Grimlock, and he's dinosaur. He's got hips, knees, his arms move, and his jaw actually ratchets in between 3 different positions. You hear it click. So his mouth can stay in whatever position you leave it in. It's not the little wop 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 chomping gimmick that his robot mode had. But outside of that, you'll notice that the tail's a little different, but his transformation is almost exactly the same as his deluxe size counterpart. The tail's, like I said, the tail's a little different. You want to bring these pieces out to the side, just like before, and kind of do the same thing as before, where you fold these up and in, and then rotate the arms back. Here, tab those in up here on the top of the body to form his torso. The legs unpeg from back here and then split. Now in this case, instead of folding up inside the legs, the tail actually comes down on this hinge and tabs in down here, but sits on the outside of the leg, like that. And the arms come down, rotate him at the elbow, flip out his hand here. He's got ball joint elbows instead of those ratchety elbows that could break on the original Grimlock. Yeah, flip out his hands, and then his dinosaur head just flips up and goes into his back. And there's Grimlock in robot mode. He's got ball joint shoulders, ball joint elbows. He does have a head swivel. No waist swivel, unfortunately, because of the transformation. Ball joint hips and ball joint knees. So he's actually pretty posable for such a small little guy. You can, of course, if you want to do the same, bring the small arms forward if you want to do that. So there is Grimlock and Back. And a quick size comparison before we put the armor on. Here he is with the Goldfire Deluxe Grimlock, just to give you an idea about how big these Decepticon Hunter guys are in relation to the deluxes of the line. Now, like I said, the picture showed this attached to his hand as some sort of hand weapon somehow, and I have not figured out how to make that happen. Which is not a big deal, because it does separate into armor. So you pull this back piece off. You can see that's going to be his head faceplate. These 2 pieces of the chest armor come out here. Split the skull, and then pull each of these the lower jaw pieces off. And that gives you all the armor pieces here for Grimlock. And they go together. You take these little chest armor pieces And these tab in on either side, just like this. The jaws right here with the serrated edge facing up go on each of his arms. Just peg into these little peg holes here. These pieces go on the shoulders, and if you're not sure about how to lock these in or which angle they're supposed to be at, if you peg them into the front here, like this, there's also a little tab here on the side that you can see goes in this little groove here on his shoulder, so you'll know you've got it locked in. You just kind of tab it in and then slide it down into that little slot for his shoulder armor. And then the chest piece, there's two pegs here that peg in on either side of his head. And there's Grimlock all armored up. And I really dig the armor. That helmet is really cool looking. I think the shoulder pads could be a little smaller, but hey. Yeah, there he is all armored up. He retains all the same posability that he had, aside from the head swivel, before he was armored up. And just as a size comparison, here he is with the Optimus Prime, all armored up from the same line. So yeah, I really kind of like these guys. I like the armor. I like the way it functions in different modes. I like giving Prime the big war hammer. I like that you can give him a giant Energon dinosaur head when he's in alt mode. But I really like the look of this chest armor, especially like both the chest pieces and the head piece look really cool on Grimlock. So yeah, there's Decepticon Hunter Grimlock with his sillily named Minicon counterpart back.